I don't know. This is what I normally do, but I was trying to work through this nonsense. We'll see what happens. Anyway. I'll give it a few minutes for everybody to figure out what on earth is going on. I don't know. I did something weird. Something got set up weird with my live tonight. It was probably because I did it. When my assistant does things, it all goes smoothly. When I touch it, it's like, ah! Yeah. Not good. I had like a little Pinterest come down and I almost X'd out of the YouTube live just to get rid of the notification from Pinterest. I don't even know why I'm getting a notification from Pinterest. Don't go on there very often except for to like go and find out really cool nail designs. I know it's, yeah, so anyway. All right, well, it's been a minute, so I'm just going to sit here and chit chat and you guys can catch up to me. So just got back from Arizona on Monday, so it was a week ago. The time difference was intense, to say the least. I have to admit, I'm not a huge fan of the incredibly dry Arizona weather. It was so crazy. My husband and I both are like, wow, like our hair and everything is still dried out. Just not even a full week we spent in Arizona, and like our skin and everything is just like soaking up the moisture over here. So yeah, a little crazy. And it was so funny because we were talking to people over there, the few that would talk to us, and we were talking about how, you know, we were from Florida and, you know, it was really dry over there. And they're like, oh yeah, no, I've been to Florida. It's so wet. It's so humid. It's so muggy and everything. And we're like, yeah, we like it. It's like, it's so crazy. So yeah, I guess it's to each their own. It was surprising to me, the differences, because I thought that Arizona would be fairly similar as far as, you know, I mean, it's equivalent, like it's just, you know, shift over a couple of states, not a big deal, right? It is a big deal. It is a very big deal. It was very, very different as far as, you know, the humidity factor, which means that there was so much static electricity. It was insane. I got shocked like constantly. Like I was just, and my hair like tried to attack my face constantly. It was just insane. So yeah, it was a thing. So anyway, but yeah, we came back Monday, was absolutely exhausted, so I just was not in the right headspace to try and do a YouTube live. I thought I'd be able to do it. I was not able to do it. Was just not. And you know, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine what I've been talking to. I would probably be like half asleep talking to you guys. It would have been so bad. Because I hadn't slept in like 32 hours or something like that. So it was a little crazy, but yeah, yeah, I'm going to have to say I'm not going to ever move to Arizona. It was fine to visit the Grand Canyon. Lives up to its name. It was grand. It was absolutely amazing, but not worth it for me to live there. It was just too dry. It was so crazy. I was sucking down water constantly and I was thirsty while I was drinking. I was like, where am I? What kind of place is this? And the static, oh my, right now, no static. It's just, you know, frizzy, but no static. And, you know, I had to wear braids in my hair for the last 24 hours just to get a little bit of ripple, which I thought was fun today. It's a little kind of messed up now. But anyway, because my hair here in Florida, it's so humid, it's just straight. Like, it sticks straight all the time. I have to, like, really, really beg it to do something. Arizona, I probably could have actually done a hairstyle. It was so bone dry. But what was so funny is in the morning, it was like I brush it and it was like clinging to the brush and just kind of being insane. So somebody told me, oh, well, you just take some hand lotion and you smooth it into your hair. I was like, okay, I did it every hour on the hour because about once 60 minutes went up, it started just coming back and attacking my face and stuff. I'm like, so it was either up or I had to put hand lotion and just smooth it down because it was insane. I got shocked. I can't even count how many times I got shocked. It was very uncomfortable. It's just, my husband and I are looking at each other like, nope, this is a no-go for us. The Grand Canyon was absolutely intensely gorgeous and beautiful. We love that. We love Sedona. Sedona was so pretty. But yeah, even the altitude, everybody was like, there's no altitude here. You should try like something higher, you know. We're like, it's 7,000 feet. Excuse me, for us, it was altitude. We had a hard time even catching our breath because we're at sea level in Florida. We don't really, there's no altitude. You might get a hill or two, but that's about it. Those are hills. We were in the mountains. It was crazy. So yeah, just seeing the differences between Arizona and Florida are so incredibly drastic. And then, you know, it was beautiful. I say that as a question mark. It's not fair. It's just a very different kind of beauty. Like here in Florida, it's very green and almost like, I don't know, almost like a jungle. It's just so much, like I call it Jumanji all the time. I'm like, you know, you leave a house for like any period of time and Florida's going to try and take it back. That going over to Arizona, the greenery was just like scrub bushes and stuff. And it was just so different. There were so many rocks. And it was just this very dry, kind of arid beauty. And it was just so different, so incredibly different. So I kept going like, where's the grass? Like, why is there all these rocks? Where's the lawns? You know? So yeah, I figured, you know, it would be kind of like Florida, but like in our winter season when everything kind of turns a little brown or tan or whatever. No, it is like the winter season that never ended, and they've adjusted. It's very, very interesting, very different. So according to everything we read, Arizona used to be like Florida, and that was like forever ago, and then the water kind of receded, and then all of the Grand Canyon got created basically from the Colorado River. So it was kind of interesting reading all that stuff, and it was cool visiting, but yeah, we're never moving there. There's some states that you're like, oh, you know, if I ever didn't live where I live, I would live there. Not Arizona. I was like, my face feels like leather. It's been 4 days. What in the world? No. We both had like, it just felt like we were breathing in dust the whole time. It was so different, so completely different. So it's kind of funny because we have a lot of people that are from like up north, and they're like, yeah, or from California especially. And they're like, yeah, I'm thinking about like, you know, Arizona or Florida. Like there's no difference. So it just didn't occur to me how much of a significant difference there is in lifestyles, like daily basis lifestyles. It was crazy. So apparently we are now amphibians. I don't know, but it felt like it. It was just like, okay, I have left the humidity and now I am in this crazy dry, you know, and it wasn't even that hot. That's the crazy part. It was not that hot. In fact, it was a blizzard the Tuesday before we got there up in the Grand Canyon. In fact, the North Rim isn't going to be able to open on time. There's going to be no tourism up there, no campgrounds open or anything like that because they're still buried in snow. So that was just, it was crazy. We went all through these snowy passes and stuff, and we're like, the pools are opening over in Florida. Like, we're ready to go swimming. Like, it was so intensely different. I cannot express to you how different it was. So if you're considering Arizona versus Florida, visit both and you'll see what I'm talking about. But I always thought that Ocala was fairly rural until I went over to Arizona, and then that's a whole nother level of rural. We would drive for like an hour straight and you're not going to see anything but cactus. It was like, there was nothing. And then the houses are really interesting too. Like some of them were just like a mobile home from the 60s, a random house, some RVs. It was like, that's their lot. It was like, okay, that's interesting. So it was just really, really interesting how very different it was. It was a really good experience, I think, for us to better understand people that are moving here or people that are deciding that they don't want the cold anymore. They want to move somewhere warmer, and they're choosing between their options and stuff. I can now officially say, okay, well, if you don't like humidity, which not everybody does, that's okay. Then Arizona would be the place for you because there was no humidity at all. It was pretty crazy. And then I was thinking, you know, it would be hot, a lot more hot than it was, because I thought it was more equivalent to Florida, and that's not the case at all. It was actually, we were cold. So yeah, kind of interesting, just really kind of interesting how the differences were. Really interesting comparisons. So we'll probably do a video for you guys, because, you know, anytime there's something interesting, I've always got to share it. So I'll be doing a video literally comparing the two states and what I saw and what I experienced, as somebody that's very used to Florida weather and atmosphere and, you know, stuff like that. There was a lot of similarities, but a lot of things were incredibly different. Arizona is expensive, like South Florida expensive. It's like, good grief. They are a lot more health conscious there, I think, though. And even environmentally conscious, I think, more so than Florida. That I did notice. So a lot more health food. We actually had a hard time finding some of our favorite stuff that we like take for granted. Like coffee creamer. We wanted a small thing of coffee creamer. We were in an Albertsons. Like, this is a big grocery store. And I think we were in Scottsdale at the time. They did not they either had a large one or nothing at all. And there was a whole bunch of, organic. I mean, there was organic everything in there. I was like, wow. Oat milk, we had like 15 different varieties of oat milk, but regular like cow milk, there wasn't that much in the store. And I'm like, this would be like the most bougie store ever if it were in Ocala. It was like, what is this? And it was just a regular store. It was not like, you know, on this really glitzy side of town or something. It was just, that's how their mentality is very, very health conscious. A lot of hiking, a lot of biking, just a lot of that stuff. So a lot more health conscious over there. The Mexican food, by the way, way better in Arizona. We had Mexican food until my husband was like pleading for mercy. It was way, way better over there. Here we have more of a, well, it's more Mexican-ish. So it was very, here it's more Caribbean than Mexican, not very spicy at all. To get spicy tamales here is next to near impossible. I've tried many, 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 many times. I've tried. It just doesn't work. There are some that, you know, I can find a decent taco, but like street tacos, but over there it was like in abundance. It was like everywhere. Oh, so good. So good. Progressive arts. Yes, absolutely, Norma, you're right. The artists were definitely, it was very different over there, I think. Yeah, very, very different as far as the art. I think they take their art a lot more seriously. I can't say that because in some parts of Florida, I think we were just in the wrong, I don't know, maybe we're in the wrong part. I don't know. Hippy Dippyville. Well, I didn't say that, but it really wasn't like, you know, like in Florida, you go to one part and it's like completely different from another. Like we're in Ocala, very different from Miami, like worlds different. Same thing, Tampa, very, very different, very different. So, you know, it's just different portions. You know, there's South Florida, which is practically a different country. And then there's North Florida. Then there's North Central Florida. I mean, it's very, very different vibe, very different everything. Arizona seemed to be fairly consistent. I do like the adobe homes. I wasn't sure if I liked the really super modern, like they almost look like container homes, but they weren't. It was like super modern, but it almost looked like something from the 60s at the same time. It's just like this kind of very hard lines. So yeah, the architecture was crazy. We really enjoyed looking at all the different architecture. They had dome houses. I mean, like anything and everything. It was like, okay, in Florida, we do have pretty much very similar houses. It was very similar houses over here. Like here, it looks like somebody opened like a thing of Jordan almonds, you know, the Jordan almonds, they're all like pastel colors. Yeah, that they just throw it out. That's your street. There's a lot of pastels. It's more Caribbean style, I guess. Stucco, a lot of stucco. But it's very similar house styles, you know. Over there, it was like whatever you could think up in your head, that's what they're going to do. They had house styles like this. They had house styles from up north. They had log cabins. They had RVs with a roof on it, which that one I'm still trying to figure out. It was just anything and everything. But there was a serious, you know, you could definitely see the adobe homes having more of that, you know, Spanish style and the Mexican and, you know, all of that, that was in there. But there was also a lot of that, I think, California kind of thing where it's very straight lines and very, very, very industrial kind of modern look. That was coming in a lot with even like apartment complexes. It was like, whoa, that's different. I don't think that would really fly in Ocala as much. I could be wrong, but I just don't think it would. I think we like, you know, more of the farmhouse vibe than the industrial architecture, but I don't know. You never know until it's there, and then everybody's like, yay! We do know there are like 8 container homes that this guy is selling over in Citrus County. So not too long. It's just not too far. It's just on the other side of the county border. And he's selling those, and they're very modern looking houses. They are actually container homes. So those are a thing, but it's very few and far between. That we just don't have that really super modern kind of, I don't know. I don't know if I'd say retro, because the 60s, they had that kind of look, but different. I don't know. More like, I don't know. Like something out of the Jetsons is what they were doing in the 60s and stuff. And now it's more like just very, very hard lines, very square. I don't know. It's just different. It was just very different. So it was interesting. You know, 2 realtors from Florida trekking around Arizona. Of course, we were looking at all the houses. But yeah, it was interesting. Sedona was gorgeous. A lot of art, but it was very touristy. So it was kind of interesting too. Anyway. But yeah, so that was I can't say last week, it was the week before, but I did not do my live because I was so tired. I had not slept for like 32 hours, so it would have been an absolute nightmare if I had to try to come on here last Monday. I was just such a mess. So yeah, went to bed, got some actual sleep, tried to adjust to the time difference, which was messing with me so bad over there. Because of course we were in contact with our company and stuff, but I could never tell what time it was because I had my watch was set to Ocala time and then my phone automatically adjusted to Arizona time. It was only like a 3-hour time difference, but it seriously messes with you. I would have somebody call up and they'd want to make an appointment for something, and I'm going, I am scared to touch my Google Calendar right now. I really don't know what it would do to you. So it was like, just don't. So, oh, thank you, Norma. I appreciate it. Yeah, it has a little bit of, it was a lot more wavy earlier this morning, and now it's just kind of, but again, Florida, you know, humidity and all that. But yeah, I had some fun with it. But yeah, it's kind of a pain. You gotta braid it wet and then wait at least 24 hours. just to have a little bit of wave. But yeah, it's kind of fun. My daughter keeps trying to get shorter and shorter hair, so I guess I gotta mess with my own if I want to mess with somebody's. So she is actually, we just submitted some more paperwork for her college courses. So she is actually going to be doing her college courses this summer for her dual enrollment. So really, really amazing. If you have teenagers in high school and they could do dual enrollment, please do it. So the high school she goes to here in Ocala has the professors right on campus. The books are included. It's just a phenomenal program. So our son did it. He actually graduated high school at the same time that he graduated college for his associate's degree. Absolutely amazing. That's 2 years of his life and thousands upon thousands of dollars that he saved, especially the 2 years of life. Because at that time frame, I mean, there's so much that you want to do or whatever, and to have that kind of a boost is just, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. So I just, yeah, can't say enough for the program. So she's starting her classes. I think you have to wait until you're finishing 10th grade before you can start on those. But yeah, it's an associate's degree while they're in high school. I mean, how cool is that? So yeah, but her paperwork, super proud of her. She's, smart little cookie, same as her brother. And, but yeah, she's actually starting her college courses. She's only 14. She'll be 15 next month. But I'm sitting there looking at the paperwork and I'm like, So messing with me. Just messing with me. But she should be, she'll probably be like, I don't know, 17 in a month or something when she graduates with her associates. So, I mean, that is just, I can't say enough. I know a lot of people say stuff about, the school system in Florida or whatever, but I just, it's done really well for my kids. So, I don't know. No, boredom is not possible. She's actually, this is the first year that she's given me some issue. We have a rule at our house where they don't get summers off. I don't care if they're 3 years old, they're going to have a workbook from Barnes & Noble. I mean, it's not anything major, but at least one page per day. That's all when they were younger, that's what we asked of them. And then once she hit middle school and our brother was in high school, they could take classes through either the college or through the virtual school. They could take classes during the summer. So like not a full program, like 1 or 2 classes during the summer. I just don't necessarily agree with, having the whole summer completely off and like completely forgetting about any of your schedule or your homework or everything that you've learned or whatever. I think it just messes with them. So they've always had to have at least something educational during the summers. So not to say they don't take vacation. They probably have been more vacation than any other kid. They've been a lot of vacation. They've gone on cruises. We've gone traveling throughout the United States multiple times. I mean, just all sorts of stuff. But at the same time, they don't get full summers off. But this is the first year that I actually had Lexi going, excuse me, she's like, why can't I take the whole summer off? And I'm like, because we don't do that. It's just, no, it's just not happening. We're not, nice try, but no, we're not doing that. I was like 1 class or 2 class, I don't care. But it was because she wanted to work a regular, like she wanted to go and work at Publix or something like that, which you can start working at 14. But, again, it's priorities in, her job, same as her brother, is to go to school. That's their job. Our job is to do this. So everybody does their part, and we all, as far as the housework and stuff, everybody pitches in, everybody assists. It's not like it's just my job because I'm the mom. No. We don't do that. So everybody pitches in. My husband's just as likely to go in and do laundry as I am. He's great with the washer and dryer. He just doesn't like folding and putting it away. So that's my job because I forget things in the washing machine and then I have to rewash it. So yeah, but if it were up to him, it would sit on top of the dryer for eternity. So I don't mind. I'll sit there and like watch TV and fold and put away laundry. I don't care. So we work it out between us, you know, and then we do it, you know, every Sunday. That's what we do. So, yeah, just stuff like that. You work it out, but that's just our family dynamic and what we do and all of that. But at the same time, they graduate with their associate's degree in hand. Like, who wouldn't do that? That's so great. I know AP classes and courses are good too, but we looked at it and it was like AP course versus college course. I'd rather go with a college course. But you know, to each their own that they do that. But yeah, Lexi wanted to go ahead and get started in the job. I was like, honey, you're going to have the rest of your life to work a job. It's so funny because her brother had to like push out the door to go get a job. I was like, I want you to clock in and out. I want to see you actually do this. I think it'll be great for you. It's like pulling her back in, like, okay, I don't think we need to do that quite yet. There's plenty of time to work. You know, it's just different kids and different things that they're doing in different times of their life, you know, so just crazy. But I'm super, super grateful for the opportunities that they've had. I definitely never had those opportunities when I was their age. So incredibly grateful that they have these opportunities, and the stuff that can be done now is just so amazing. So many classes that they can take that they have access to from their computers. It's just phenomenal. I know it's information overload out there. I mean, but you can figure out how to fix a dishwasher off of YouTube. I mean, this is crazy. It's great. I don't know. I have the weirdest questions all the time. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go ask YouTube. Right now, have you, yeah, really lucky kids. Have you guys seen ChatGPT? Oh my goodness. I have had so many conversations with this AI. We're friends at this point. I know everybody was like doing that with Siri back in the day, but man, this thing called ChatGPT, it is insane until the internet goes down. Hey, I know how to look things up in an encyclopedia just fine. That's how I was raised. I will be golden. I can cook from a cookbook. It's all good. All of us at Gen X, we'll be fine. I don't know about the rest of them. I don't know how my kids will live without the internet, but thankfully I don't think that's going to be a problem. But yeah, no, that ChatGPT thing is insane. So, we're doing short-term rentals, so I'm doing a website for it. I'm telling you, it has some political views though. You gotta be careful with that thing, because I asked it for some information and it was very, I don't know, it was opinionated one way versus another. And I'm like, you're a computer. You are a computer. How do you have a political anything? It was just kind of interesting. But yeah, very, very fascinating. But it does help me so much with my listing descriptions. Now I can write a listing description. Y'all, I've been doing this for almost 20 years. I can write a listing description. It's the real me. But it will, I'll be like, okay. There are certain things you're not going to put online. Like, if I say, okay, there is this old small house in, Ocala, that, can you write a listing description for an old small house, 2-bedroom in Ocala? And it'll be like, sure. And it'll give me a full paragraph or two that's absolutely lovely, showing how charming this cottage-like home is, all this stuff. I'm like, what? And then, if I don't like that, I can click regenerate and it pulls up a whole nother, like, completely different style. Like, this is insane. Absolutely insane. So, of course you have to adjust it. It tried to say what great wood floors. I was like, it doesn't have wood floors. It's all tile. What in the world? So, you have to adjust it and, but still it gives me a whole paragraph of very flowery wording and stuff. I'm like, wow, that's lovely. And then I can just change it to what I want. So it's, a little more factual. Like I want to put like the age of the roof because we've got roof issues in Florida right now. I want to say how old the HVAC is because that's something that's very important. Make sure that it's all accurate, not wood floors, it's tile floors. Thank you very much. But it's essentially that same verbiage. I love, the flowery, flowing words that would probably never come from me because I'm more of a direct, like, okay, roof is this old, HVAC is this old, check out the Florida house. Oh, I actually have a book that shows like different words to describe different things and stuff. So it's absolutely invaluable. But yeah, I love the Chat GPT. That's just so incredibly helpful on saving time. But what was really crazy is I needed to embed some, like I was creating this website, and I'm not a coder, I'm not a website designer or anything like that. But it's pretty, cut and paste at this point. But I wanted to embed another website into it, and I was like, how do I get the code for this? And I'm like, I wonder. So I go over to ChatGPT and I'm like, how can I change this into code that can embed into a website? And it wrote the HTML code. Wrote it right up. I just copy and paste. I was like, oh my goodness, like 2 seconds. It was all written. I was like, what? It was crazy. It was crazy. I asked for, I'm writing a hand manual, owner's manual. I don't know. Anyway, I'm writing the, for different, standards of practice, procedures, if you will, for, our transaction coordinator. I know, Norma, I'm serious. It was crazy. What doesn't it know? So I'm writing this because I'm hiring in a new transaction coordinator because I want our customers to have the absolute best possible experience, And as our agents get busier and busier, I want to make sure that no balls are dropped. I want to make sure that they are not only like taken care of, but they're like wowed by how great we're taking care of them. And that a lot of that is communication. One of the biggest complaints people have with realtors is communication. So I'm like, if we can resolve that, if we can just be proactive with it, it would be huge. So if that means I got to hire a transaction coordinator, so be it. But I need to, hire somebody, train them, and have all of the standards of practice. So yeah, I actually was like, what's a great job description and what are the procedures and duties of a transaction coordinator? Whew, I had 6 pages. It could not type fast enough. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I of course had to fix it because, some things I was like, we don't care about that, but we definitely want this, 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 and this. So it was crazy though. It saved me so much time because yeah, could I write that? Yes. Would it have taken me 30 seconds? No, I can't type that fast. That's crazy, craziness. So yeah, just really interesting, having fun playing with that. But we do have conversations, the AI and I, sometimes just to trip it up, just for kicks, But yeah, kind of interesting stuff. So in my downtime playing with that. But yeah, just kind of curious to see what it will do. I know, right? Swear. Telepathic, I'm telling you, it was crazy. So, but can you imagine how smart I would be if I could actually, how they were always talking like, I don't know, 20 years ago, they were talking about, oh, we're all going to have a chip implanted and then we're going to have like computers like constantly and it's just going to be this whole thing. I don't know. If I could walk around with Chat GPT in my head, I think I'd be doing pretty darn good. Everybody's be like, I'm kidding. I'm mostly kidding. It was really cool. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just really in awe of what technology can do these days. Absolutely amazing. Can it go too far? Absolutely. But yeah, it's supposed to be, and it always has been and supposed to be an assistant to us, not to take over our jobs, but to add to what we have and what we do. So if it can get that, that's great. Oh, okay. I'll have to watch that. What is portability when it comes to real estate taxes? So portability is when you are selling, let's say you're selling your house in Florida, in Marion County, for example, and then you go to, I don't know, another county. Let's say you go to Citrus County. You are going to be able to do your you're not going to have to wait on your exemptions and stuff. It's a bit creepy. I'll keep that in mind. So your exemptions can just kind of port over to the other one. Also, the fact that you are a homeowner in Florida. So taxes can only be raised, I think it's 0.3%. I don't know. Anyway, you have to check with the property appraiser and also the property appraiser for whatever county you're going to. But that ability to only raise the taxes a certain amount each year, which is not keeping up with the market, which is a really cool thing, is invaluable. So yeah, if you can port over your exemptions and everything and not have to worry about, you know, not being in the time frame and not having to pay thousands of dollars more because you didn't get it in the time frame, that's huge. So just being able to port your ability to have those exemptions and stuff, going from one house in Florida to another house in Florida. Now, if you go from one house in Florida, move up to like Michigan, and then come back to Florida, you're out of luck. But if you're going from like one county to another county, it would port over to the other county. If you're in the same county, then it's super, super easy. So it's just basically saving your coupons. You're welcome. I know. I think I just did a video about that very briefly and touched on that. I'm trying to think. I think it was for my radio show, actually. So look at the recent radio shows or on our podcast. Definitely check out the podcast. That's on Spotify. So the radio show that I do every Saturday morning, the What's Up Ocala, that is on Spotify, actually. So if you want to check that out, you can listen to all of the radio programs. So anyway, yeah. I don't know. I don't know why we do the podcast. There's nobody that listens to it. Not that many people listen to it. I can't say nobody, but not that many people listen to it. But, you know, we're already doing it for the radio station here locally. So, I mean, it's already like all perfectly packaged, and to upload it to the podcast station on Spotify is super easy. So that's what we do. We're like, it's done. I think it's called What's Up Ocala, or it's Great Expectations Realty. Either one of those will probably get you there. But yeah, I really, everybody's always like, oh, you got to do a podcast. You got to do a podcast. I did a podcast, and I'm like, now what? It's done. Now what? But yeah, it's just another thing to do, I guess. I don't know. I'd much rather just, you know, hang out with you guys on YouTube. It's a lot simpler. But again, you know, if you're already going to do a radio show, might as well. And then the radio show actually has, they actually share it on, so like you could go up to Alexa and say, hey, Alexa, play Classic Hits Ocala. And then you'd get our radio station, and if you listen at Saturday morning at 10 a.m., you'll hear me on the actual radio show. Or you could just listen on Spotify anytime. But yeah, I think I don't know. We weren't doing it for about 6 months because I was like, nobody's really listening to this. Why even bother? But we went ahead and redid it. Now we're on season 2 is what we're like, okay, well, we had a little bit of a break, so now we're on season 2. So yeah, it's every single week we upload. I'm like, well, if we're consistent, that's what matters. So yeah, that's on there. So it's just one of those things. So what else? What other questions do we have? Everybody's just hanging out. It's Monday night. What else are you going to do? I'm gonna go home and eat a frozen pizza. I don't know. I did go to the gym this morning. That was fun. Well, sort of. My daughter has decided that she is some kind of fitness, I don't know. She's a gym rat now. I have no idea what happened, but I blinked and all of a sudden she's like into fitness every day. I'm going, great. So, is land going down? It did. Land prices did go down, but I think they're pretty much holding steady right now. I haven't really seen a drastic drop. We did see a whole slew of, price reductions because of the interest rate, but that has pretty much, everybody's kind of gotten used to the new normal, up in the 7s. We may see things come down a little tiny bit, so that would be kind of cool. But as far as the interest rates, as far as the prices, I don't think they're going to drop anymore. We're seeing about $20,000 per acre. I'm still looking for acreage. I highly recommend anywhere over by the World Equestrian Center, because even though it is more expensive than other parts of Ocala, in the long term, I can't even fathom what the value of that land would be in 10 or 20 years. I can't even, it's like the equivalent of buying land near Disney before people really understood what Disney was doing. That's what you have the opportunity to do. So I would do it. So yeah, I mean, if you can buy, 5, 10, 20 acres anywhere near there, yeah, serious investment. So, maybe in 5 years, are you really going to see a huge difference? Maybe not, but 10 years, 15, 20, yeah, huge. So something to look into. Just my 2 cents. You guys tune in, so. But yeah, I would definitely look at over there if you're just looking for acreage. Anything that's horse farm related or could be horse farm related, that would be the place I would buy acreage, personally. Which we did, we have definitely considered. Now, if you go out into the forest, Ocala National Forest, so Silver Springs, Ocklawaha, that's all going out into the Ocala National Forest. That is it's like thousands of acres, like thousands. That is a lot less expensive, but there's a reason. It's like there's not much growth going on over there. It's not going to be, it's a national forest, so it's not going to have like a bunch of industry coming in or anything like that. So it's a large percentage of it, hundreds if not thousands of acres of it is protected land. So it's just, it is what it is. So if you're looking for investment, I would definitely go more towards the World Equestrian Center, because that is going to grow and expand like crazy over the next decade or two. So huge. But if you're looking for land for yourself and you just want to be one with the land and the trees and maybe get some chickens, that would be the Ocala National Forest, because you're probably going to be able to get that for anywhere from 10 to 15,000 per acre. But yeah, also be careful if you do the Ocala National Forest area. They have clay instead of sand, so you're much more likely to find properties that have flooding. So just heads up on that one. You're not going to really see that in anything like closer towards the center of Ocala. There's just really not that many flood zones, because it's all sand. It's pretty high and dry. Very few flood prone areas. So, but yeah, if you're in the Ocala National Forest, I always give everybody a heads up. So if you're looking for something that's waterfront or with a pond, that would be the place. Yeah, a lot of wetlands. Citrus County is very similar. A lot of wetlands over there as well. So the good news is you can have waterfront property fairly inexpensive because there's so much of it. The bad news is you're probably going to be in a flood zone because it's waterfront property. So, no. I don't think there's anywhere in Marion Oaks that's in a flood zone. Not to my knowledge. I'd have to check the map, which I can do pretty easily, but I don't think so. There's one small area of, why is land? Red Rock. I think it's Red Rock or Red Dock. So, in Silver Spring Shores, which is a very similar subdivision, but it's southeast instead of southwest, there is one very small area in the redwoods that is in a flood zone. Very, very small. Not that I've ever seen it flood, but it is technically in a flood zone, so you'd have flood insurance. Which flood insurance, I think, is about, what, $1,000 extra per year now? We still have it. I don't care. I don't know. She said something about Red Rock or Red Dock. I'm like, Red Rock, like Sedona? That's Arizona. That was 200. Wow. That'd be nice. No. Oh, Reddick. Okay. Reddick is very much horse country now. They're steady. They're holding steady. I don't know if they're going to go up or go down next. It could go either way. Home prices in Ocala right now are just holding steady. They have not really changed too much. Fluctuated a little bit, but not really changed too much over the last few months, actually. So basically the list price is pretty close to what you're going to be paying. Expensive horse country. It is very expensive horse country over there. You have some of the larger farms, though, going out that way. Like huge, massive, like they don't count it in acres, they count it in miles kind of horse farms. So that's probably has a lot to do with it. That's not really, you know, it's not farms that like people made money from the farm and got rich. It's more they were already rich and they bought a horse farm. So, but there's a lot of families that own horse farms in Ocala, like thoroughbred farms and stuff like that, that they are very well off financially. And this is just like, it's basically one of their toys. So, so yeah, that's okay. We don't mind. They have beautiful horse farms and it's lovely to drive through. However, if you're trying to purchase a horse farm or land and it's right next to this big massive farm that, let's say, the Kraft family owns, it's probably going to be a little expensive. Just a little bit. So there are areas that are less expensive in Reddick, in and around Reddick, but yeah, it's probably because it's up by the prison. There's a ladies' prison up there. So, ladies' prison? That sounds weird. Women's prison? I don't know how you call it. But yeah, there is a female penitentiary up there. I think it's state or federal. I don't remember. Lowell. It's called Lowell. But that's up there somewhere. So if you see really inexpensive land, it's probably because it's really, really close to that. Or railroad tracks or something similar. So just a heads up. I don't know what that is. It's just, I don't know, Lowell? Oh, transfer prison? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that's up there. Somebody was like, oh, look at this house. It's so inexpensive. And I'm like, I know the market pretty well. And you're right. That is very inexpensive. Then I looked it up. I'm like, oh. Do you have any recommendations for storing hay? Yeah. I mean, it's not something I personally do. My husband has lots of experience storing hay. In fact, he actually thought at one point that it would be a really great idea to bring hay from another state down to Florida. And he found out all about agricultural law and truck driving. But it's very expensive to buy hay down here. So he was like, okay, well, we'll just buy hay for the horses in another state. You'll have to have him tell you about that. It was freaking hilarious stories. But yeah, there was like, you know, he didn't know. He had no idea what he was doing. So he was just like, hey, we got a farm in Maryland. We got a farm down here. We'll just bring it down. What's the problem? That's not how it works. Yeah, they don't like it when you bring agricultural type items from another state because there could be issues. So yeah. Anyway, but yeah, he did try that once. But yeah, once it comes down here, you're just gonna want something. Yeah, he did have an enclosed. It was a horse trailer, and he was just bringing hay. And yeah, they were like, no, you can't do that. So yeah, I would say just something that's going to take the moisture out. So you don't necessarily have to do a air conditioned room. I know some have like air conditioned tack rooms and stuff like that. Just depends on what you're doing. But you're just basically fighting the moisture. That's what it is. We have a lot of moisture here, not a question. So the best thing to do is just like an enclosed room dehumidifier. You just want something that's going to help fight the humidity. If it's only for short term, you can go ahead and just, yeah, so probably air condition, then you're gonna have to add. And an air conditioner, I know it sounds like absolutely crazy, but hay is expensive. So an air conditioner actually will help reduce moisture as well. It actually takes the moisture and then it sends out the condensation outside. So definitely would do, hi, damper works. Depends on how much hay. That's really basically what we're gonna go with. It really depends on how much hay you have, how long you have to store it. There's a lot of different stuff, but my husband, like I said, he has dealt with that in the past here in Florida. So he could probably help you out with that. So it needs ventilation. Yeah, definitely. It needs, again, how much hay, how long a time are we talking to store in it? I mean, if we're going for like 6 months, it's going to be a little different. Yeah, it's just, yeah, because you don't want to give your horses an upset stomach with who knows what. So good compost if heated. Yeah. That's great. I do not. I love horses. I love looking at them. I may even ride them once in a while. But I do not own horses. I am not a horse person. Horse people are different, very different. I absolutely love working with them. Because they could not care less. Have a good night, Norma. They could not care less about the houses normally. They just care about the pastures, the auto waters, the barns, the round pens. I mean, they don't care. The tack rooms, the air conditioning, like that's what they care about. They will not, like, I'll be like, okay, and it has the house. They won't even go inside. They're like, meh. They go right outside and walk around. Very, very, very different. So I love working with horse people. They just crack me up. I am not a horse person. I just love all people. I don't care. I think people are just the funniest things ever. So I just get a kick out of them because they love their horses so much. They live with and for the horses. So my husband in his previous marriage was married to a horse person. So that means he got dragged into the lifestyle. So he supported her. At one point, I think they built a 123 stall barn up in Maryland. And a large portion of it he built with his very own hands. They raised Lipizans. I don't know if you, anyway. So yeah, it was a very, very different lifestyle. So he knows more about it than I do because he lived it for a very long time, So, for me personally, no, I support, I admire, I am not a horse. See, I could die for my horse. That's you are right there. You are a horse person. So no judgment whatsoever. I absolutely love you. I love that. I love Ocala and their horse people. but I am not personally a horse person. A horse person is, I will die for my horse. That horse is up here, I am down here to support my horse. That I get it. I totally get it. I have seen it. I have lived it. I am not going to personally live it myself. I do not have a horse. Neither of our kids were like really that into horses. Of course, Lexi went and had lessons. You cannot be in Ocala and not know how to ride a horse properly. You don't want to be looking like, you know, a busted can of biscuits up there in the saddle. So yeah, they know, they know how to saddle a horse, how to, you know, take care, wash them, brush them, all of that, got all of that. But they never were really into that lifestyle. They were never just, I think the horses actually scared both of them, which is kind of sad. I mean, I would have been totally cool if like they were horse people, but they weren't. So, and I support them with what they love. So I will absolutely support you with what you love, but I am not that. It's not my wheelhouse. But yeah, I think it's great. I go out there and just love watching the mayhem. It's great. I'll go out to hits. I'm sorry, but I have a serious weakness for the Belgians, the Percherons, and the Clydesdales. I think they are, I mean, their feet are like, hooves are like this big, like a dinner plate. It's crazy. So I love them. I think they're the prettiest horses. I like the, I can never remember, Gypsy Vanner horses. They're like a smaller, strong version of these big draft horses, but they're small. I mean, they're very interesting breed of horses. I think they're beautiful, and they've got, you know, the hairy legs and everything. I think they're gorgeous. But so we have Gypsy Vanner horses here in Ocala like crazy. We have over 600 different varieties of horses on the farms here in Ocala. So it's a little intense, very, very horse friendly area. And that's before you even get into the cattle and stuff. That's a whole nother thing. Oh, they're gorgeous. But then when you get into like the feeding and maintaining a singular Clydesdale, oh no, that is crazy. I know somebody here that has a very well-known farm, Grandview Farm, and we went out and, you know, did the tour and stuff with, she's just an itty bitty little slip of a woman, and she pushes and moves these Clydesdales around like they are nothing, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, she's just itty bitty herself. I mean, I could probably pick her up with one arm, and yeah, and she just moves these big old huge, what are they, like 1,600-pound horses, and, you know, tells them what to do and all. It's like crazy. I've never seen somebody ride a Clydesdale. No. Just like singular, they're draft horse. Now, doing a wagon or, you know, like that, yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And Gypsy Vanner, I've actually seen that. But not, yeah, I mean, good grief, you'd have to do the split stack. It would be like riding an elephant. I can't even imagine. That'd be crazy. Like, how in the world would you possibly ride that? Like, you just be sitting like this. Like, how you have, you know, when you ride a horse, you have to like control it really with your legs, and I mean, my feet would be flopping on the end. No, I can't even imagine. No. That would be crazy. I would have to say just, you know, a wagon, absolutely. But, like, no, I can't imagine horseback riding on that. I'm sure it's possible. I just wouldn't be the one signing up for that. That would not be comfortable. I can't even imagine the saddle. Good grief. Maybe a blanket or something. I don't know, man. Yeah, but yeah, like Lexi, her lessons ended. She did really good. She took lessons for months and months, and then horses in general. Oh yeah, no, horses in general, absolutely, but not. It's like, what? Like, I can't even imagine that. I'm like, When my husband will go horseback riding, and he's 6'4", so they look at him, and and they always come out with like this huge, massive, just, I mean, beast of a horse. So yeah, he could probably, maybe, I don't. Me, no, I'm 5'4.5". It would be flopping. I'm sorry, I'm just lost now. Oh God, it probably wouldn't be that bad, but you probably would. I tried. There's an elephant. I can't say a farm. It's actually an elephant preserve or sanctuary, not too far from here. And I actually did ride an elephant, I think last year. And we were having the worst time because you have to kind of like do the splits up there in order to ride the elephant. And she goes, you gotta like move your legs out wider. And I'm like, they are as wide as they are going to go. Okay. I cannot, like, I'm rolling around on top of the elephant trying to get where I'm supposed to be. And I'm like, my hips are not lying to you. Okay. They are not, I cannot do the splits on top of this animal. She finally just gave up on me. And she's like, okay, whatever. And she let me go. But yeah, I would imagine it's about the same. No, we actually not in this area. Like, we're a little more city than other parts. But if you go into like Reddick, or Citra or some of the other areas, yeah, you will definitely see people riding horses around. There's neighborhoods that are gated though, that are equestrian neighborhoods. Hello from Fort Lauderdale. Hello. I'm glad it wasn't just me. But yeah, there's neighborhoods where it's, each house or each mini farm, they're like 3 to 6 acres. Each of those farms are gated. And then so they have all the pastures and stuff like that. Some of the subdivisions are like 10-acre lots, but anyway, and then it's gated. The entire community is gated. So you can actually ride your horse throughout the community, on the roads, and they've got trails and stuff like that. So there's actually quite a few equestrian communities here, where you're going to have that. But otherwise, if you're on, if you're just riding down the road or something, it's going to be a little bit, it's a little scary because, like, what if somebody is driving and they're driving too fast or something like that? You don't want to hurt the horse. Now, if you go into the trails, oh yeah, absolutely. You're going to see horses galore. In the Shangri-La trailhead, that's actually a campground specifically for horses. And going into Santos, that's going to be a lot of horses in there. So there's a lot of trails that are just open for the public to go and go horseback riding. So yeah, there are a lot of them. But yeah, I mean, to see somebody riding a horse in Ocala would not be strange at all. Riding them on the roads, maybe, because why risk it? But is this the right place for buying real estate or to get any tips? I would hope. I mean, if you have any questions about buying real estate, I would be happy to help. So yeah, I don't know what exactly you want to know, but I would hope so. I'm a real estate broker and instructor here in the state of Florida. So absolutely. An equestrian community, never heard of one of those. Really? Oh, they're very common here in Ocala. Very, very common. So yeah, there's, oh my goodness. There's Paradiso. There is Countryside Farms. That's just off of 200. That's only like 2 miles down the road. Is there Huntington? I don't know. There's a whole slew of them. There's a huge community up in Citra. I don't know. Probably 10 to 20 communities like that. Oh my goodness, you're working with Jeff? Jeff is so cool. He is like, have you actually met him like face to face? He's like my favorite person. He's so cool. He is, this big old huge like ex-military guy, and he gives the best bear hugs. Like seriously, the best hugs. I have not gotten a hug from him in a while, so I thought for sure I'd get a hug based off Michigan. So I thought for sure I'd get a bear hug from him when I got back from Arizona, but I guess I'm gonna have to go give him a hug. But anyway, he is so incredibly sweet. He has a heart of gold. So yeah, and his wife is even sweeter. Like just Tristan is so wonderful. But yeah, when you get to know them, they are exactly what you think they are. They're just so incredibly nice. Yeah, a lot of people come down here for holidays. This is like the tourism area. Silver Springs was the original tourism area. So mountain biking at Santos a few years ago and fell in love with Ocala. Just spent past Easter there. Oh, wonderful. He is the best. He is. Cool. Tennis store there. Oh, okay. So the tennis store, somebody was asking, was it you that was asking me about a tennis store in Ocala? Somebody was just asking me if there was one here, and I'm like, so there is a tennis center, I guess, that's owned by the city of Ocala. And it has, I mean, it's actually really cool. I did a YouTube video of it once. There's a lot of really nice tennis courts there and a very, very active tennis community over there. And then, of course, there's a lot of tennis players in the, oh, it was you. Okay, cool. I was like, Dr. Akuli or Draculi. I'm not really sure. But yeah, there's a lot in the 55 plus communities that are serious hardcore tennis players. Just to get a Jeff Bear hug. Come on back. He'll be like, but honestly, right now, I know it's probably a sin to say this to somebody that is like serious tennis, but pickleball is a big thing, okay? And it's only getting bigger. So I would highly recommend if you do a tennis or pickleball thing. Hi, Rick. That was you. That is going to be huge. Like, they are obsessed with pickleball around here. So I've never played. I have played racquetball, and it was a very humbling and humiliating experience. Racquetball is terrifying, I'm just going to say. But it was like echoing off the walls. It was an enclosed room. It was terrifying. And there was somebody behind me swinging a racket. It was terrifying. So I'm not the person for that. But yeah, I have heard many people that are very serious about tennis that are moving down here, and a lot of people are really into pickleball, like really into it. So if you have both, which you said you do, then it might be a good opportunity for you. I don't know of any tennis stores here aside from that one at the city, and that's not really a big thing. So it's a very elegant sport. My husband used to play, but he's 6'4" with this massive wingspan, so of course he played tennis. He's like one of those really lithe, like he just doesn't put on weight. It's annoying. Like, he can eat an entire pizza. I just smell the pizza and I put on weight. So pickleball is huge. It is crazy huge. So all the 55 plus communities, they all now have pickleball courts. They have pickleball leagues. They are playing pickleball like crazy. So just saying, it is a big deal, and it's only getting bigger, like so much more. Let's see. Giopo Sorsen says, me and my wife are looking for a little land with some trees, preferably not far from town, but not inside of any road. Very hard to find. Decent price. That's weird. I don't know what you're looking for exactly. I would have to ask a few more questions. Like, not far from town is not actual like miles to me. How far from like racket experts in Weston? Oh, cool. Oh, cool. I don't think it has anything to do with that. How far from town is not far? Because my idea of not far from town is 15 minutes. I'm happy 15 minutes from Starbucks, Target, Walmart, mall. That to me is town. So I am 17 minutes away if there's traffic, 15 minutes if there's not. I'm cool with that. I've got a Publix a mile from my road, or a mile from my house. So, and now they opened up a nail salon and they did a really good job. I went in there on Saturday. So 1 hour. Okay, well, 1 hour from town is the middle of nowhere to me, but okay. Okay, then yeah, there's plenty of places I would be very, very easily able to help you to find land. How much land do you want? Again, I don't know, like a little bit of land to me is like 3 acres, maybe 5 acres. To other people, it's like a third of an acre. So, yeah, probably not. Preferably 30 minutes. Okay. How much acreage are we talking? So these are the questions that I ask. If you guys do one of the Calendly links in any of my videos, I have a description where it's like my Calendly link, which is calendly.com/Andrea Praber. But if you do that, it goes right to my Google calendar, and you can set up appointments, and we just do like this, but it's just one-on-one. So it'll have like, it's just me on a Zoom with you. And you can book like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever you want. So I have people just kind of pop up on my calendar every once in a while, and we just kind of talk these things over. So 3 acres. Okay, so if you're looking for 3 acres, it's probably, if you want uncleared within 30 minutes of town, I'm either going to put you over in Silver Springs or Rolling Hills. It's 3 acres. You're going to have to do at least 2 lots, probably about 50,000, maybe 60 over in Rolling Hills. If you are, I would be terrible. Hold on. I think I missed something. Hold on. Pickleball court. Okay, we're gonna go play pickleball. I would be terrible at it. Racket experts. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say either Silver Springs or Rolling Hills. So, yeah, probably either one of those. If you're in Rolling Hills, you're gonna be a lot closer to town, probably closer to like 20 minutes away from civilization. And then Silver Springs, Ocala, you can go 30 minutes from town, but it's gonna be a little bit less expensive. So you can probably get 3 to 5 acres for the same price. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, I would say probably for that, you could probably do 3 acres for 30,000 in Silver Springs, maybe 40. I don't know. But if you're wanting to do, that's like the land. If you're wanting to do a house with it, that's a whole nother conversation. Whole nother conversation. Yeah, no, it's not bad. I mean, not in Ocala. Like, if you go down to Miami, that's that's a totally different part of Florida. Needs to be near swimming. Like, explain swimming. Swimming lake as well. Because, yeah, I don't normally recommend swimming in lakes here unless, yeah, no, I don't. Because we have things that will eat you here. Swimming pool might be a good idea. I would probably, now, why are we doing the swimming lake thing? Is it just for exercise, or is it because you just really like the lake and you want to do fishing and outdoorsy kind of things? Like, what are we talking here? Because if it's for exercise, I'm going to say, okay, you're over at Rolling Hills because, yeah. Okay, so Silver Spring, yeah, Silver Springs is like the city where it has, you know, or a portion of the city that has Silver Springs. Well, that's Marion County basically, because we don't have Gulf, or we don't have a beach here. But yeah, if you're gonna do Silver Springs, that's where Silver Springs State Park is, and that's where. But yeah, they have alligators in yeah, they have a lot of them. We stayed in an Airbnb, beautiful home on 2.5 acres. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, so you're familiar. All right, but yeah, Silver Springs has gators. Okay, just putting that out there. Not everywhere. If it's fast moving water, you're probably fine. But again, I just keep that in mind. Okay, they live out there. You're going to be sharing some land with them. So I rented a house to somebody once out in Silver Springs. You want to swim in nature in Florida. Okay, you definitely can. I go swimming all the time out in the forest. I do, absolutely. I love it. But I go to very specific places. So yes, you would just need to go near one of those crystal clear springs. You don't want to go into any murky water or standing water. Okay, that's a no-go. Okay, so just make sure and let me know that, and I will make sure to get you near one of those crystal clear springs that you can go swimming all the time in. Absolutely. We just went to we go out to the Ocala National Forest to go camping all the time, literally like almost every other weekend. It's crazy. We're always out there. But and I go swimming while I'm out there. But again, I go to the springs, the natural artesian springs that are out there. We just recently went to Crystal Lake, and it was absolutely beautiful. Where do you go? I go. It's like Russian roulette. As long as you understand alligators, you will be okay. You just have to understand they are fat and lazy, and they have to sit in the sun to get all of their food and everything. It's so frustrating. So as long as you understand what they're looking for and their mindset, you're great. You are golden. So I go in crystal clear water where I can see everything out there for 100 feet. Like I can go in the water, look around, I can see everything. Perfect, no problem. But yeah, I just went to a lake and my daughter and the water was very, very clear, but not clear enough to really see that far out. So we weren't going that far out. We kind of, we kind of went where we could be there safely. So would I go and do laps out in that lake? No. But have I gone out in swam like crazy in some of the springs and stuff? Absolutely. I go to Rainbow River. I will spend hours in that and not worry about that one at all because it's very, very fast moving water. And gators, again, lazy. They don't really like fast moving water. It's just too much to try and keep up with the current and stuff. So they're just not going to bother. So yeah. Plus they don't really like people, and Rainbow Springs is very, very full of people. So it's not a place for them. They're not going to be there. You might see a little one or something on the side, but nothing that's going to it's just not going to do anything. But you have to be aware of these things. It's it's actually, I'd much rather deal with alligators than sharks, because sharks, I don't understand those things at all. They're just, you think you understand them, and then they come up and take a nibble out of you, and you're like, what the heck? So yeah, those, and then the ocean is moving and stuff, so you can't really see, and it's just, no. I would much rather swim in the springs with the alligators, by far, than go and deal with sharks in the freaking ocean, by far. So it's on the other side of the county. It's actually over by Rolling Hills. I'm like more and more I keep going, I think I'm gonna stick you over in Rolling Hills, but I don't know. Ocala National Forest has some absolutely gorgeous springs. We've gone to Alexander Springs, we've gone to Salt Springs. Salt Springs is so cool. I mean, absolutely, you swim with these big, huge, massive fish, like they're like just swim right next to you, like you're part of their little pod of fish or whatever. So absolutely the coolest place. I loved Salt Springs, swimming in it. Then there is, let's see, Juniper Springs. All of these, just crystal clear water. Absolutely beautiful. Let's see. I don't know. All of the springs are gorgeous. Juniper, Alexander, Salt Springs. Of course, Rainbow Springs. We've been to that campground as well, even though it's like 10 minutes from our house. We've been to Silver Springs, of course, countless times. But Silver Springs definitely has gators, so I don't think there even is a swimming area there. You can go kayaking, but it's not, because they have like big kind of lagoons basically where there's no fast moving water. You'd have to go like further out for that. Then the gators just kind of hang out over in those lagoons. So yeah, I'm gonna go with no on that one. You have a great night, Javelin. That's awesome. Salt Springs is awesome. I think it's so cool. But yeah, I mean, the chances of anything really happening are pretty slim. If you look at the statistics and everything, there's only been one person that has actually died in Marion County in like the last 50 years from an alligator attack. So like one. I mean, you'd have a much more likely chance of getting struck by lightning by far. But at the same time, let's not risk it. Like, let's just not. So, so we try to be aware. So, so if you're like, yeah, I'm going to go swimming daily in a murky lake in Florida in the middle of the Ocala National Forest, I'm going to go, sir, that might not be the best idea for various reasons, especially reasons with teeth. So, you know, it's the same thing. You know, when you go out in the Ocala National Forest, they do have bear out there. So you're not going to leave a whole bunch of food laying out either, because that's going to attract something that you don't want. Again, something with teeth. So, you know, there's just certain things that you just have to be aware of when you're living in nature, especially in Florida, because we have some fairly large animals here. So, and again, they have teeth. So it's not so fun when they bite back. Oh, okay. I'm getting a little crazy. I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a great night. If you need me for anything, if you want to have a conversation, go on my Calendly. I have absolutely no problem with that. You can get on my calendar. It's going to open it right up to my Google Calendar, and it will, you can just straight up have a Zoom meeting with me. So yeah, there's a lot of people that do alligator farming. Sure, why not? I mean, same as any other animal. I think they use them for leather, and you can go to a lot of restaurants around here and purchase gator tail or gator bites or whatever. Personally, it kind of tastes like pork to me, but whatever. But yeah, it's an animal. Kind of like a fish, but not quite. I don't know. Again, teeth. But yeah, I do know of alligator farms. I think you have to have a special license for them though. So anyway, but yeah, if you want to actually talk about all things real estate or whatever, go ahead and go on to my Calendly link, which is in the description of any of my videos, including this one. So it's calendly.com, /Andrea Praver. And it'll go right into my calendar, and you can just pick out whatever time you want to chat. So yeah, absolutely. All right, you guys have an awesome night. Hopefully you had some fun. This was a little bit more entertaining than educational on this one. But if you have any questions, please feel free to put it in our comments section in our video or any of the videos. I read almost every comment, personally. Sometimes my agents get to the comments before I do. But, you know, just go ahead and put them in the comments section and we will answer that. And again, if you want to actually talk about real estate here in Ocala and you need some more personalized help, just get on my Calendly. You have full access to my calendar and add yourself in, so go for it. All right, you guys have a great night. And if you know of anybody that is looking to work in real estate and would like to join our team, let me know. We are looking for awesome agents. I'm keeping all of ours like super busy. So I think at this point we're ready for some more. I like really super new agents that have no bad habits yet. So if you're like, I really want to work with you, but I have no idea what I'm doing, that's the person I'm looking for. So of course, having experience is great too, but I really like helping new agents and, you know, having them learn the whole thing and, you know, being right from the start and then watching them like really grow and thrive and stuff. So pretty cool. All right, you guys have a great night and holler if you need me. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.